What's up, everybody? So I just wanted to show you my high protein, low carb, low fat chili. Pretty sure I've made a video similar to this, but I've kind of perfected this. I eat it every day, so this is something I have 2 servings of per day and every week for this competition prep. So basically, I do NPC men's physique, and I'm in the Northwest. I'll be doing a show November 14th. The NPC Northwest Championship in Shelton, Washington. If you want to come see the event, if you're in the area, I recommend it. And if you're looking to compete, this is a good channel for you to subscribe to, or even if you're just looking for some healthy meal plans. That doesn't have to be somebody that's trying to compete or whatever. This is just a good, healthy meal anybody can make. And the best thing about the meals that you're going to see on my channel is they're all very simple, quick, easy, and yeah, so I'm going to show you some of the basic things. Basic stuff that you need to make this happen. You can get all of this stuff from Costco. You're going to need 2 packages of extra lean ground turkey. Actually, you can't get this at Costco. They only have 93% lean, and this is 99% lean. But the 93% will work just fine. If you're not cutting for a show, the little extra fat shouldn't really matter too much. Yeah, and then you're going to need a can of their kidney beans. Buy a case of these. I think it might have 6 or 8 per case. And then 2 cans of stewed tomatoes from Costco. So everything here could be purchased at Costco. Minus this, they have the 93% lean ground turkey. It's very similar. So anyway, let's move on to the optional stuff. This is what makes it taste awesome and badass. First up, we've got some cilantro. I like to add this right before I'm done cooking it. I just chop it up, and I put a ton of this in there. I love cilantro. It's great flavor, and just adds a nice little kick to it. And I make this kind of like a curry chili. I love curry. I really like eating Indian cuisine and stuff when I can. I haven't had any in a long time because I'm dieting down. But so anyway, let's start here. Chili powder. This is optional, but it'll make it taste really good. You can use as much as you want. All this seasoning is basically to taste, but I use a ton of cayenne pepper and a ton of curry powder and a lot of black pepper. Those are the basic things. The cumin will make it taste like the chili you normally have in a can, and the chili powder, obviously. Chili powder is not quite the same as cayenne. I think it's a little bit different. This stuff's nice and spicy. I don't have a lot of variety in my diet, so the biggest thing I can do is make it spicy, and that's where the majority of my flavor comes from. But for this, you'll really enjoy it if you like curry. If you don't use curry powder. It's that easy. And then, optional here, you can use a little bit of oregano as well. This just gives it a lot of that full flavored thing. It tastes. This is so amazing. The stewed tomatoes here, it's like a perfect spaghetti sauce in a can. These things come sliced in half. They're not sliced up or chopped up. So what I'm going to show you guys is me putting them in my Vitamix blender, and I just basically puree them a little bit. I'm not a chef, so if I'm getting this stuff wrong, sorry. I'm into lifting weights and trying to get... Step 1, get a big ass pan. In this case, it's a wok. We're going to take a little bit of Pam. No calories here. Just, whoa, this is the olive oil type. Good God, this is like a fire extinguisher. So you're going to take that, and since this is 99% lean, I'm using that. If this was 93% lean, I would not need the non-stick because there's enough fat on the turkey to keep it from sticking. So there's one down. This whole process can take like 30 minutes if you want to. I like to simmer it a little bit longer. The longer you do it, in my opinion, the better, within reason. If you did it for more than 2 hours, I don't know, maybe it changed the flavor or something. So we basically just want to get that going. We're going to cook this, brown it fully before we move on to the next part. I'm not trying to insult anyone's intelligence here, but I just figured I'd show you how I chop this stuff up. So now it's kind of warming up a little bit. Oh boy. So I just kind of do this, and as it cooks, I mean, I chop these things up into pretty small pieces. I like to keep it pretty small so I can distribute the meat evenly throughout the chili when I'm done. That way I have a consistent amount of protein per serving, and I don't want to have like big ass clumps of turkey meat because that can skew your measuring and it will not be as precise. So the idea here, we're weighing this stuff within grams. We want to be accurate. So let's just do that. Okay, now this is browning. I'm going to go ahead and start adding some seasoning. So let's start off with garlic salt. This is how much I'm going to use. If you can measure this, more power to you. I'm going to use that much. And if you guys are like, oh, that's a lot of salt or whatever, I use a shit ton of salt because I have nothing else I can eat. So I don't think that keeping your sodium down does you any benefit. Your body's going to regulate that on its own. If you think you can outsmart it by decreasing it for 6 months trying to not be fat, that's not the way to do it. So I would recommend just drinking plenty of water, a gallon, 2 gallons a day, and you'll be fine. Here's some cumin here. We're going to put a healthy amount of this stuff on there. I like my chili to have tons of flavor, and if you do about this much, you'll be doing just fine. So hopefully you guys can see that on the camera just fine. So the cumin's down, or cumin, I don't know what it's called. Red pepper. Now, if you're scared, go to church. You might not want to do this, but I like to put a healthy amount of cayenne pepper on my chili. So basically you have salt and spicy. That's the only thing you can have when you're freaking starving to death. So, bam. That. Now, let's talk curry. Now you hillbillies, calm down. Curry's not a bad thing. This stuff's awesome. It has tons of flavor. And if you haven't had it, you should go find some. Find a restaurant that has good reviews and give it a shot. You'll probably enjoy it. There's all kinds of good food in there. Try the butter chicken, unless you're on a diet. So that's the curry. And I can say hillbilly, because I grew up one. So, anyway, now we've got that black pepper. Don't be scared of putting a little extra on here. Keeps it good. And we've got some chili powder. Right there. About that much. The cayenne pepper, if you take a whiff of this chili, will probably make you start coughing. It's pretty potent. Let's do some oregano. Alright, just a little bit of that. Bam! That's it for those spices. Now, let's flip this over and mix it very well. As it cooks, we want to get that flavor blended in there. Whoa! Sneezed. That's another thing that pepper will do to you. So, now you can see this stuff's getting kind of dry. I'm going to go ahead and add some water to this. Now this has to be an extremely well measured amount of water. Just kidding. You just put some in there and adjust as needed. It's going to evaporate out. So if you add too much water and you end up with soup, well, you might like that. You just turn the heat up and let it evaporate out. It's not a big deal if it gets too soupy. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid back on here and just let this stuff start cooking. I understand it's not mixed all the way. Don't worry, we'll be chopping this stuff up.
Let's take a look at this chili. Okay, so it's been probably like 5 or 10 more minutes since you guys last saw this. Probably sick of seeing this by now. That's alright. So now I'm just going to dice all this stuff up a little bit smaller. Yeah, my filming probably sucks, but at least I'm making the effort to make these videos. Some of you guys are just sitting around watching YouTube without ever contributing back. I've learned a lot off of YouTube over the years, not just in food and fitness, but like welding and fabrication and machining and all this other stuff. So pretty much anything you want to know, you can find it there. It's free. Can't beat that. Alright. Well, that's enough mixing this stuff for now. I'm going to get you going on the next scene here. We're going to get the cans of stuff open and ready to rock. I'm going to turn this heat down to real
This is
low.
off subject, but check out this bicep. First time it's been that lean. And the chest is finally getting some vascularity in there. So anyway, this is a fitness channel. There's going to be shirts off and flexing and stuff. Okay, so let's get this thing going. We've got our Vitamix blender here. Going to take the can of stewed tomatoes. Get these guys going. And these are organic if you care about that, which I don't. I'm just simply going to put the can of tomato in there. Next victim. So this makes 8 servings. The serving is really up to you, what size of serving you want, but I make 8 servings out of this, and it works for what I'm trying to do. So, let me show you. So here's what the tomatoes look like. You can see they're pretty good sized chunks, and yeah, that's basically why I'm dicing these up a little bit more. The same reason I dice up the turkey. I don't want it too big. It will be a problem when trying to scoop this stuff out and getting consistent numbers. And now the kidney beans. When you use the kidney beans, when you open the can, there's this weird jelly crap in there. It's because it's beans and it has starch and stuff. So what I like to do is I just use the lid and I squirt that crap out of there, and then I rinse the beans off with the lid on. So you guys probably can't even see this, but maybe you kind of can from that angle. But anyway, I basically just rinse it a little bit like that, and that's enough. I don't really like the way that stuff looks, and so I'm not going to eat it. I don't blend those up. I leave them that size. And I'm going to take some of this cilantro, some, not all, and I'm going to mix it in with this. So that much. I don't care how much you use. It's up to you. Maybe you don't even like cilantro. But this really makes it taste like a really good quality dish. So again, I'm just going to pulse this. So I'm using the pulse setting on the Vitamix. That's plenty. Okay, kind of like you would if you were making salsa. Same idea, okay? And then let's take a look at our turkey there. The turkey is pretty much done. So now I'm going to take that blended goodness. We're going to take that out and simply pour it over. Can you guys see that all right? We're simply going to pour it over the turkey. Bam. So that was pretty simple. And I will rinse this container with a little bit of water and try to get as much of that tomato stuff out of there and put it back in this dish. Alright, so that's that part. Next, it's bean time. Just dump these guys in there. Boom. That's it. There's your carbs. And a little bit more protein. And if you have it available, man, I'd dump like 2 cans of that. Maybe even a can of corn if I could. But I can't. So this is what I'm doing. We're down to the last step now. Just got to add some cilantro. Dice that up pretty fine. I'm going to shut the heat off. And just mix that up a little bit. And then it is time to weigh this out. Put it in some Tupperware containers. Alright, that's the 8-week transformation from before to today. That was August 12th. Today is October 14th. My waist is down to 30¼ inches from 34½. Getting ready for the show in 30 days. Subscribe. Thanks for stopping by.